Baja California is our favorite place to avoid winter in North America. Between the amazing beach camping, cheap tacos, and the laid-back lifestyle, it's pretty hard to beat. But sometimes you get tired of beaches with giant motorhomes, the sounds of semi-trucks going by, and you're wanting something more unique, something off the beaten path. Today we're setting off on a 2-hour drive down a single-lane dirt road littered with 100-foot cliffs, super sharp switchbacks, and non-existent guardrails in search of what many people call the most breathtaking beach in Baja. It's rumored to only be accessible by a lifted four-wheel drive vehicle, and that oftentimes you'll get stuck with anything less. If you're new here, we're Eric and Marissa. We've spent the last 3.5 years traveling full-time in our custom-built flatbed truck camper. We've explored almost every state in the U.S. We've been to 5 Canadian provinces, and of course, our favorite, Baja California. But if there's one adventure we've been talking about since before we even got on the road, it's of spending an entire summer in Alaska. Last week, we kicked off our 6,000-mile journey north to Alaska, starting at the southern tip of Baja California and tackling the legendary East Cape Road from La Fortuna to Cabo Pulmo. But now we're heading into uncharted territory to one of the last must-visit beaches in Baja that we have yet to lay our tire tracks on. This is our journey to Agua Verde.
This is really scary. It is definitely one wrong turn where a car comes up too fast and you go over this ledge and we're dead.
The road has definitely become increasingly easier for, let's call it like the second half, but we know that at the end of this drive, there's about a 200-meter long, super steep incline, decline, depending on which way you're going in or out. And that's what we have in our future, but they recently graded this road, and for that, I am eternally grateful. We have not aired down, which was something that most people either do or recommended we do, but thanks to some fresh road treatment here, you know, other than the switchbacks, we're able to cruise at a pretty nice 18 miles an hour.
where we're headed, down to the sit in Agua Verde. We made it. I'm so excited. We've been trying to come here for the last 3-4 years. We finally made it. We are here.
Alrighty. We made it. Let's show you guys what this beach and all this beauty is about. Hazy's very excited. We've been in the car since 7:30 this morning. It is now 3:30 in the afternoon, so it's been a long, long day in the car. All that
Look
dust.
at the mark.
Yeah.
Ready?
So what do we figure it took us to get here from like the main road, and we have to factor in filming time?
Without filming time, I would say around 3 hours. With filming time, I would say like 3 hours. No?
I don't think so.
2.5 hours?
I would say 2 to 2.5 is what it took us to get here, including filming. So Marissa got this whole bag of oranges for only $7 today. 140 pesos. And that'll be enough orange juice to make us a whole bunch of screwdrivers.
That's a big sack of oranges.
I was really going into the truck to get beer out so that I could put it in the fridge and keep it cold. Because after that long drive, I'm ready for some beer. So one of the things we were talking about on the tail end of this drive out here to Agua Verde is the fact that we'll probably never do this drive again unless we were coming out here with a group. It was just
Harrowing.
Yeah, harrowing is like the best word for it. The amount of opportunities where like if you made one mistake, you are gonna die.
So 2 years ago when we were down here, we went out to a beach called San Basilio, and that beach was much more, the road was much more aggressive to get there, and probably just as long as this drive, but there weren't any hairpin turns. Whereas this drive had hairpin turns that had a cliff right next to you with no guardrail. As you saw in the video before, it was just the end of the road, and then hopefully, hopefully that road would hold up and not, you know, come falling down on you. It was stressful. It's absolutely gorgeous. The boats that are here just make it so tranquil and relaxing. But yeah, I don't think that we would do that again.
So we've just been hanging out here on the beach, haven't done dinner yet, but I wanted you guys to see this beautiful sunset because it really captures like how spectacular of a place we are right now. super grateful to the opportunity to be all the way out here. We got some truck camper folks over here, a bunch of them. And then some truck camper slash van lifers over here. And yeah, eventually we'll make dinner, but not until the sun goes down. It's far too pretty here. Check out all the sailboats. You're gonna see it in the drone footage.
Whatever you want.
But yeah,
Or
enjoy this right now. Okay, we're finally coming back in, and we're gonna start on some dinner. I didn't tell you guys about the travesty that we had in the camper yesterday. We were driving around, and yes, it's irresponsible, but it had been working really well for a while. We had 1.5 to 2 dozen eggs just sitting right here on the counter. And then during the very, very rough roads we were on, not today, but the other day in La Ventana, we didn't film for it, those eggs became a projectile and landed on the floor and just made an absolute mess. The reason I'm mentioning that is, to me, there's a faint smell of eggs. I don't know if Marissa agrees. She's usually more sensitive to smells than I am.
I don't smell any kind of smell of eggs, but it was a disgusting mess, and it took us like 45 minutes to clean up.
Yeah. Eggs were literally like running down the floor, cascading yellow and clear liquids. So, enjoy that image. And now it's time to cook. I'm doing salmon and noodles. Marissa's doing...
I'm gonna have a burger and a lettuce wrap.
2 different meals. Very efficient. But we want what we want, and we need to actually consume certain things specifically, so noodle time. Where are the noodles? Ah, here we go. One of the things I'm excited for when we get back to the States is re-upping on seasonings. We've got still some left, but I've been super addicted to this Trader Joe's. I'm not going to even pronounce it. It's a garlic and spicy seasoning from them. That word there, you try and pronounce it out loud on camera and see how you do. But it goes great on my salmon. Got some smokiness going here from the cast iron. Oh, Marissa's in.
We have 2 of those seasonings in the back seat. He just doesn't ever look, so he didn't know until right now. You don't need to restock. We have them.
I'm gonna burn through them because I use it all the time. We probably have a bunch more of this everything but the bagel seasoning too, but we're gonna burn through that also. And we're gonna need more of it. Get them nudes, Rissy, get them nudes. So the accoutrements for my salmon and Asian version of angel hair is Mike's Hot Honey, always on the salmon. I guess this is extra hot honey. Teriyaki on the salmon. A little bit of teriyaki on the nudes, and an even smaller amount of soy sauce on the nudes. I find that a little bit of soy sauce goes a long way. Oh, last but not least, how could I forget what I was talking about earlier that we're not running out of? Everything but the bagel seasoning. Oh, this one's... It's just poppy seeds. Nothing but poppy seeds. Aren't those the ones where you won't pass a
Heroin test.
opioid? Yeah, heroin test. So if you're asking yourself, Eric, how did you get salmon down in Mexico? It's not a common fish down there. 3 months ago when we were back in the States, we loaded up a 55-quart fridge freezer combo with everything that we could fit in a cooler from Costco, including, what do you think, Marissa? 3 multiple pound bags of frozen salmon?
Yeah.
Along with a bunch of chicken thighs, a bunch of chicken breasts, steak. If you're coming to Baja, do not rely on the chicken that's down here if you are a massive chicken lover. Don't rely on the steak. It's not that you can't get good chicken or steak, it's that it's inconsistent in terms of its accessibility. So, if you want wild caught salmon, you better bring it with you. Well, this is pretty much going to be what the rest of the night consists of. Playing with the cat, and we're going to watch some TV. We'll pick you guys up in the morning.
Começar, turn the key and cool around. This a pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through today. I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone. Be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun.
Morning from Agua Verde, day number 2 here. I need to make some coffee and get going. We have a ton of stuff we want to see today. We want to walk over to this other beach where there's a village, but we have to do that at low tide. That's going to be around 1:30. But first, coffee.
Loosen up on the grind. Simmer down, settle back and mess around. Be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the deal through today. I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone. Be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun.
Pretty incredible spot to have morning coffee. Pelicans are flying on the left, and then on the right we had a departure of a bunch of sailboats this morning. So it has been almost a year since I used this grill. being honest, I've gotten very addicted to cast iron cooking, and I also hate having to bring stuff outside in order to cook, but it's getting pretty hot inside the camper already, and we don't want to shut down the beautiful view that we have outside the dining window, so one thing we can do is cook outside. I will be super surprised if this grill works. So I will admit that outdoor cooking isn't my favorite. It just seems like an awful lot, nice, we're working, of work for something I could do inside. But this is a pretty sweet backdrop to be cooking outdoors in, and we also don't want to heat up the house too much because it's already warm in there. For breakfast, I'm going to keep it really simple. Just 4 eggs, scrambled, salt, bacon fat. That's it. A lot of bacon fat in the pan. It's the go-to move, is lubricate the heck out of your cast iron pan if you want to have successful scrambled eggs. The other criticism I would have of cooking outside, because we're only using a grill and not like a Blackstone, it doesn't really get as hot as the stovetop does. This thing's been warming up for, I don't know, 7 minutes. It's pretty long for this cast iron pan. Usually this thing's ready to rock and roll inside within 2 minutes. So, I don't know. I feel like cooking outside, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Drop it in the comments below. Is it a novelty that you just get excited about early on in travel life? Is it because of the fact that your rig doesn't have a huge kitchen? For me, I think the outdoor cooking aspect was a novelty that has kind of worn off to where I'm just looking to cook for convenience, and convenience would be inside the camper. Honestly, I should have done more eggs. These 3 eggs look super small. Other than the heat inside, I would like to also thank you guys for motivating me to cook outside. I kind of knew that like this would look very attractive. It's very attractive for both of us, hopefully. Pelicans are diving out there. There's a bunch of little bait fish, I'm assuming. What's your guys' favorite way to scarf down some eggs? Mine is scrambled. They're just so easy and tasty. So with that big bag of oranges from yesterday, we've taken 7 of them, cut them in half. Got a bunch of them over here still for future juicing. And then we've got about 10 limes that Marissa cut up. Let's see how much juice we end up at the end of this. All right, so the totals are 8 oranges made all this juice here, including what's in the 2 adult beverages we're about to consume. And then the limes, I forget exactly what the original number was, but this is how much lime juice came from those limes. We drink nothing but fresh squeezed juice in our cocktails around here. No BS fake crap for us.
This is mango, fresh mangoes, orange juice, Bacardi, and a little bit of tahini on the edge.
Cheers. And cheers to the fact that I just committed to a summer job at Seward Brewing Company in Seward, Alaska. We both interviewed. Marissa's still keeping her options open. She's going to talk to another restaurant, but I'm super excited to have something in the books, concrete, that gives me a firm plan as to where I'm going to be working this summer and how I'm going to be employed. And we're super excited for working with these people that we met via FaceTime, I guess, the owners of it. It seems like a full family operation there. Daughter's running front of the house. Dad is doing the brewery stuff. He's head cook. And then mom is bookkeeper and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, just really excited to be laying down some plans for this summer in Alaska. Now we just got to drive, 5,000 plus more miles. And if you find yourself in Seward this summer, you should come visit us. All right, so game plan is we are gonna go walk over and get some tacos and check out the little store, see if they have some more limes. So it's about 3/4 of a mile of a walk, we were told. And you can see very well from this vantage point why sailboats love coming into this harbor. You can tuck around that point there and not have really a whole lot of waves coming at you. We noticed that the boats that couldn't come in as close to shore, that were out here, were rocking quite a bit more because they're staring at the open bay, I guess to call it at this point. And so yeah, they're getting moved around a bunch, but this is a really cool landscape. So you can tell why you have to time this adventure correctly with low tide, because everything that we're standing in right now would be water. Like this rock aspect right underneath me, that would be dry, but then you would get to this area here and it's all wet. I mean, you might be able to do it and just have, some wet ankles, but pretty cool to be able to walk over to a new beach and get some provisions and get some food for the belly, and you don't have to break camp. So this beach is, I guess, is it right to say this is the town of Agua Verde?
Yeah.
And there's 3 restaurants here. We got a recommendation from this guy who's at the Spit area that this Middle Palapa is the best one. So we're gonna try at least that one. The big difference between this beach and the Spit in terms of accessibility is the road getting out from the Spit is super steep, and for the most part should require 4x4, although people do it with 2-wheel drive, but it's, maybe not the easiest. This is kind of the option B beach for easier access if you have like a big trailer or something like that. Or I shouldn't say big trailer, but a trailer. You need a small trailer with those switchbacks, but the sand at this beach is super nice. It seems very, very swimmable, and an awesome view. So either way, you can't lose if you're willing to drive 3 hours down a dirt road to get to Agua Verde.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien. ¿Quieres ordenar algo?
Cerveza?
Yes.
Sí.
Sí.
Pacific.
Bueno.
Yeah.
Perfecto.
Mezcalita or only margarita?
Sí.
Mezcalita?
Margarita.
Margarita. ¿Con tajín or no?
No, sí, sí.
Sí?
Sí, sí. ¿Tú quieres un taxi?
Yeah,
Sí.
margarita.
Margarita con tajín.
Sí.
Ok.
Gracias, señor. Hola. Can I put my sticker?
Yeah,
I already put it up. Gracias.
This looks super good. I got enchiladas. Marissa got a couple tacos.
Gracias.
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 That sauce is super good.
So I got a fish taco and a shrimp taco, and they're delicious. They have a crema on them with some cabbage and a hot salsa here. I love it.
My enchiladas were quite possibly the best thing I've ate in a while. That red sauce was super like sweet but savory. They crushed. I'm really happy with my choice. Tienda?
Tienda.
Sí, está como a 150 metros, posible.
Sí.
Por aquí, por esta palapa.
Sí.
Ajá, por ahí está camino. Ajá,
Gracias.
Gracias.
So I got rolls, limes, an onion, a tomato, and of course Eric has to have his chips for 171 pesos, which is right under 10 bucks, like 8.50.
So we loaded up the backpack from the tienda and headed over to restaurant number 2. Just ordered a couple margaritas and 2 tacos to share. Those enchiladas I had before were super filling, and I don't think I could put down like another full meal.
I can always put down another taco, especially when it's on a flour tortilla with tons of stuff on it. Mwah, I only get so many more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is tacos and other delicious Mexican food are definitely on a time crunch now. Because after this, there's not a ton of beaches that have beachfront tacos. And then we'll be out of the country before we know it.
Yes.
Voila. Bueno.
Yeah.
All right, got our sticker up at both of these restaurants. Spot number 2.
Delicious.
Yep. Fresca infused.
Fresca in Mexico tastes like grapefruit soda, but there's sugar in it. It's not 0 calorie. Might as well be Sprite.
No wonder it tastes so good. Sugar in there. Tacos, round 2. Ooh.
Delicious.
Those are really good. Yeah. Delicioso, like you said. Super satisfying. I didn't need more food, but now that I'm eating it, I'm very happy about it. The shrimp that you get down here is just like next level. Next level delicious. And because this place is off-grid, you got to imagine that the shrimp is super fresh. The tortillas are going to be made as you're ordering it, not just sitting around that they got from the store.
Instead of farm to table, it's sea to table.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Multiple tacos down, enchiladas, multiple beers, multiple margaritas. Now we gotta walk back to our camper in a feeling of food coma euphoria. And then someone.
I would like a siesta.
I don't know if I could siesta right now. I'll end up just not being able to sleep tonight. So I'm not gonna do it because I don't know what I'm doing, but on our way back, we found a little tide pool that's got a bunch of urchins in it, and supposedly urchins are edible. You should be able to like pry them off with a knife, and then you flip them over and cut out the belly, and I believe that's very edible meat.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Ugh. Friends of ours a few years ago in La Fortuna ended up with a bunch of those in their forearms, hands, feet from surfing and falling the wrong way. We got a couple of new rigs that showed up since we left to go and have tacos at the other beach. Check this out. We got a Tiger behind me. What's very unique about it is it's on an F450 chassis instead of like a normal F350 chassis. And then over here, I don't actually know what the name of them are. I watched a YouTube video on it. This guy, Trent the Traveler, was traveling in one of these Baja. That's the model I know. I can't remember the manufacturer. I'm trying. But it's pretty cool. It telescopes down and becomes like a lower profile truck camper / earth roamer setup. I think they're like 375K. Super pricey, but also a really nice rig. So we know we're gonna be going to get water pretty soon. So I'm gonna show you guys my very simple process of getting these water jugs that hopefully you've seen in past videos into the camper. Next year I'm getting a pump. But for now, I just happen to be the right height for being able to hold this thing up here for the next minute and a half while it drains into the tank. And we've got 4 of these in total, so 24 gallons of water, which is almost half of a tank inside of our camper. We've got a total of 67 gallons of fresh water by adding a second freshwater tank in replacement of our blackwater tank because we have a composting toilet. That is what allows us to stay off-grid that much longer when you combine these 4 tanks with what we have in here. We have a copious amount of water. Then the next time we go through a major town, which will be Laredo on our way back north, we'll just fill up all 4 of these cans and we'll be good to go for the duration of our time here in Mexico. So it's not the most spectacular sunset in all the land, but we're out enjoying our last sunset here in Agua Verde before tomorrow we continue to head north towards the Bay of Conception. Sometimes you have those moments where you realize, oh, I was supposed to be filming that, and this is one of those moments. For dinner, I am making pork tenderloin that has been marinating in teriyaki, honey, and garlic. And I'm gonna side that with some white rice. Very, very simple, but also going to be delicious. Come to the table with the camera. So I ended up doing a cilantro and lime dirty rice because Marissa made the smart suggestion of adding those 2 ingredients. And then we got our pork tenderloin, which, like I mentioned before, teriyaki, honey, and garlic. To also infuse this rice will be all the juices that come off of this pork tenderloin. I am only gonna cut as much as I think I'm gonna eat for now. Marissa already ate something different, so I'm rolling solo on the pork tenderloin here. So I figured might as well not cut it all up until I'm sure I'm gonna eat more. Marissa asked if I added any soy sauce to the marinade, which I did not. I'm not a huge soy sauce fan. I think it overpowers things really fast. I like teriyaki over the 2. It was very good. It could use some more garlic flavor. And the honey I didn't really expect a ton out of, just because that was more of just a sweetening agent for the very salty sauce or salty marinade that the teriyaki is. Rice came out really good though. And the pork definitely came out perfect in terms of doneness. Nicely medium, still juicy. Check that out. I like to always pair my bite with meat and rice, or meat and potato, or meat and pasta, or meat and grits. These Topo Chicos are something we talk about, how if you buy anything that's bigger than this in terms of the bottle size, it goes flat before you finish it. Like, we as a couple opened one 600 milliliter bottle and we're like, all right, it's a race. It's a race to beat it to getting flat. But when they're super bubbly, they're incredibly refreshing and delicious. I'm gonna finish eating, then probably Been just doing some editing and then going to bed before we get out of here. So see you guys in the morning. I retract my previous statements about saying goodbye. Marissa just confessed she's making dessert. I don't want to not share that with you guys, at least visually. I'm not going to share the contents of it. That's going to go inside here, but we're going to show you what these snickerdoodles look like. I get to lick the bowl. That's the most important part. This is an Omnia. The Omnia works by allowing heat to go through the center of the pan. There is a lid that goes over the top that does not have a hole in the middle, and that creates a kind of vortex configuration inside of there, heating up your snickerdoodle contents. Snickerdoodles, in my opinion, are like a blondie brownie sort of thing. Brownie without the chocolate, of course. Here is the final product. They could use a little bit more time congealing, but my desire to eat these can't wait any longer. Yeah, they need a little more time, but they're so good, it's not worth waiting for. Okay. This time, legitimately, good night. What a weird weather morning. You never have fog here in Baja that at least sticks around this long, but it is socked in here today, and we are getting ready to depart and head out of Agua Verde. We've got a super steep hill that you watched us come in on that we have to go out on, and that is going to be a 4-low opportunity. I've used 4-low on this trip and these last couple weeks more than anything else in the entire existence of my ownership of this truck, and even just 4-high. Between the East Cape Road and then this road coming in and out, I will be using the shit out of my 4-wheel drive. So let's get ready to go. Well, we made it up the most challenging part of the hill. 4-low and second gear. Easy peasy, but definitely scary. Just made it back to pavement, and it took us 1 hour and 39 minutes to go from the spit to pavement again. Really, there's 3 sections that are kind of sketchy. You know, narrow, cliffs, things where you'll die. But overall, the road is so nicely graded right now that it's pretty comfortable for having to be on it for a little over an hour and a half. But thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and if you want to support us further, be sure to check out our Patreon page at The Cummins Camper. Bye.